If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. The Hyami unforgiving that's it northern Pakistan, where the wind whispers secrets older than memory, stands structures that defy logic. These are the gravity-locked bridges, ancient spans that leap across chasms of dizzying depth. They are not built, but woven from stone, each massive block fitting against the next with impossible precision. Imagine just for a moment standing before one as the sun dips below the jagged horizon, painting the sky in shades of bruised purple and fiery orange. The air grows thin and cold. The silence is absolute, broken only by the mournful cry of the wind rushing through the gorge below. These bridges, they feel alive, like slumbering stone giants. They don't just cross the void, they command it. Their silent, powerful presence a testament to a mystery that has endured for countless centuries. Their appearance is both beautiful and, honestly, deeply unsettling. Carved from the very mountains they inhabit, they blend seamlessly into the landscape. Yet they are profoundly alien. The stones are immense, some weighing several tons, yet they are joined without a single drop of mortar or any visible binding agent. The surfaces are smooth, almost polished, showing a level of craftsmanship that modern tools would struggle to replicate. Standing on one of these bridges, you feel a strange vibration under your feet, a low hum that seems to emanate from the rock itself. It's a feeling that crawls up your spine, a sense of immense ancient power held in perfect fragile balance. Locals say that on the coldest nights, the stones glow with a faint, otherworldly light, a pale luminescence that offers no warmth. These are not welcoming structures. They are stark, imposing, and utterly indifferent to the humans who dare to cross them. They were built for a purpose we no longer understand, by hands that have long since turned to dust. Each bridge is a monument to a forgotten age, a silent question posed to the sky. As darkness fully envelops the mountains, the bridges seem to change. Their familiar shapes become menacing silhouettes against the star-dusted canvas of the night. You can't help but feel you are being watched, not by any living creature, but by the bridge itself. It is a sentinel guarding a secret, a gateway between the world we know and something far older. The mystery here is palpable. You can almost taste it in the crisp mountain air. The setting itself adds to the profound enigma. These remote valleys were some of the most inaccessible places on Earth. For centuries, they have remained isolated from the outside world, cradling traditions and beliefs that have vanished everywhere else. To reach these bridges requires a grueling trek through treacherous terrain, a journey that few undertake. It makes you wonder, why here? Why go to such extraordinary lengths to build these magnificent structures in a place so remote, so hostile to human life? It feels less like a choice and more like a necessity, as if the builders were drawn to these specific locations for a reason that transcends simple engineering or beings. The mountains themselves seem to be part of the cyclical. Their towering peaks stand as the silent guardians over the bridges they hold. Now, the engineering behind these bridges is the core of their mystery. It's a method modern science has dubbed the gravity lock, but giving it a name doesn't explain it. The principle is deceptively simple. Each stone is cut into a complex, interlocking shape, like a piece of a three-dimensional jigsaw puzzle. When placed together, the weight of the stones themselves, gravity's relentless pull, is what locks them into an unbreachable solid arch. There is no mortar, no cement, no metal pins holding them in place. It is just stone, weight, and a level of geometric perfection that is simply breathtaking. The forces of nature that would tear other structures apart are the very forces that hold these bridges together. Think about the skill required to achieve this. Each block had to be quarried, transported, and shaped with absolute precision. A miscalculation of even a millimeter would cause the entire structure to fail. sending thousands of tons of rock crashing into the canyon below. The builders had to understand advanced principles of physics, engineering, and geometry. They needed to know the exact weight and density of each stone, and how it would behave under immense pressure. This wasn't just construction, it was a symphony of mathematics and raw power, conducted on a scale that is difficult to comprehend even today. How did they do it? What tools could possibly shape these massive stones with such delicate accuracy? Modern engineers have studied these bridges with advanced scanning technology, and they are still baffled. The seams between the stones are so tight that you can't slip a piece of paper between them. The internal angles of the interlocking joints are incredibly complex, suggesting a design process aided by something more than just rudimentary tools and keen eyesight. Some have theorized that the builders used sound frequencies to identify stress points in the rock, or perhaps a lost technique of softening the stone before shaping it. But these are just guesses, attempts by our modern minds to rationalize something that feels beyond the reach of ancient capabilities. The bridges stand in silent defiance of our explanations. The result is a structure of incredible durability. While empires have risen and fallen, and modern buildings have crumbled to dust, these gravity-locked bridges have endured. They have withstood centuries of earthquakes, floods, and the brutal freeze-thaw cycle of the high mountains. Their resilience is a testament to the genius of their design. It's a design that works in perfect harmony with the natural world, using its most powerful force as an ally rather than an enemy. But this perfection is also what makes them so eerie. They are too perfect, too enduring, too silent about their origins. They are less like bridges and more like artifacts of a forgotten science, a technology so advanced it borders on magic. So who were the masterminds behind these architectural wonders? This is where the trail runs cold, where history dissolves into a frustrating and terrifying silence. There are no historical records, no carvings on the bridges to name their creators, no chronicles from neighboring cultures that speak of a people with such godlike construction skills. It's as if the builders materialized out of the thin mountain air, erected their impossible structures, and then vanished without a trace. This absence of evidence is perhaps the most unsettling part of the entire mystery. People don't just disappear. Civilizations, especially ones this advanced, always leave something behind: pottery, tools, graves, legends. But in this case, there is nothing but the bridges themselves. Archaeologists have scoured the surrounding valleys, searching for any clue that might point to the builders. They have excavated potential settlement sites and explored nearby caves, hoping to find the tools, the quarries, or the workshops where this incredible work was done. Yet their search has yielded absolutely nothing. No chisels sharp enough to cut granite with such precision. No plans or blueprints etched into stone tablets. No burial grounds to give us a glimpse into the physiology or culture of these people. It's a complete and total dead end. It's as if the builders never lived here at all, as if they were ghosts who left behind only their monumental shadows on the landscape. The lack of tools is particularly confounding. To quarry, transport, and shape multi-ton blocks of stone requires immense industrial and technological capacity. You would expect to find evidence of this work: discarded tools, failed stone blocks, remnants of ramps or potty systems. But the area around the bridges is pristine, unnaturally clean. It's as if the construction process left no debris, no footprint, no evidence that it ever took place. This has led some researchers to whisper about impossible theories. Did the builders have tools that disintegrated after use? Or did they employ a method that required no tools at all, manipulating the very fabric of the stone with some lost oral or psychic power? This void in the historical record has created a vacuum, and into that vacuum have rushed all manner of speculation and fear. Without a known builder, the bridges become something other than human achievements. They become anomalies. Their existence challenges our understanding of the past and our place in it. Were these builders human at all? Or were they something else? A transient, powerful presence that briefly touched our world? The silence of history is deafening, and it forces us to look beyond the conventional and consider possibilities that are far more strange and far more frightening. The builders are gone, but their legacy of silence speaks volumes. While direct evidence is non-existent, there are faint whispers in the annals of history, fragmented clues that hint at a masterful lost people. Ancient texts from surrounding regions occasionally mention a mysterious mountain kingdom, or a society of stone shapers who lived in isolation and possessed knowledge far beyond their time. These accounts are vague and often dismissed as myth, but in the shadow of the gravity-locked bridges, they take on a new, chilling significance. Could these be the only surviving references to the bridge builders? A culture so advanced and reclusive that they only entered the historical record as fleeting, half-believed legends passed down through generations of storytellers. Modern archaeologists find themselves in a state of profound confusion. Their scientific methods and tools are rendered almost useless here. Carbon dating is ineffective on stone, and without any organic material, no wood, no bones, no charcoal from ancient fires, there is no way to accurately determine the age of the bridges. Some estimates place them at 2,000 years old, while others suggest they could be far older, perhaps predating all known civilizations in the region. This uncertainty is a source of immense frustration for researchers. They are trained to find answers in the earth, to piece together the past from its physical remnants. But here, the earth is silent, offering no clues, only the imposing, unexplainable structures themselves. The very concept of a civilization this advanced existing in such isolation is a paradox. Great societies typically engage in trade, warfare, and cultural exchange. They leave a wide footprint. The builders of these bridges, however, seem to have been a closed system. They developed an architectural technology that surpassed anything in the known world, yet they apparently shared it with no one. They asked for nothing from their neighbors and left nothing for their descendants. This behavior is so contrary to the patterns of human history that it forces us to question whether these builders followed our same rules of development. Were they hiding from something? Or were they simply so different that our models of civilization don't apply? This lack of answers has turned the archaeological community on its head. Mainstream theories are constantly being challenged and revised, while more radical ideas gain traction. Some researchers have suggested that the builders were not a permanent civilization, but a small nomadic group of artisans with a secret knowledge, moving from one valley to another. Others propose a more dramatic scenario, a powerful civilization that was wiped out by a cataclysm so sudden and complete that it erased every trace of their existence, leaving only the indestructible bridges behind. Each theory is an attempt to fill the void, but without evidence, they remain just stories, modern myths created to explain an ancient one. When science fails to provide answers, humanity has always turned to the supernatural. In the valleys of northern Pakistan, local legends offer explanations that are far more dramatic and terrifying than any archaeological theory. The most prevalent of these stories claim the bridges were not built by human hands at all, but by Djinn. These powerful, otherworldly beings of smoke and fire are said to have raised the bridges in a single night, summoned by an ancient king who had mastered the dark arts. The Djinn, according to the legends, used their immense strength and knowledge of cosmic geometry to lock the stones in place, a task impossible for mere mortals. Some even say the Djinn are still bound to the bridges, acting as eternal unseen guardians. Another compelling set of legends speaks not of magic but of visitors from the sky. These tales, passed down through generations, describe star folk or shining ones who descended from the heavens in fiery chariots. They were said to be masters of stone and light, able to levitate massive blocks with sound and shape granite as if it were clay. In this version of the story, the bridges were not built for people to cross gorges, but as markers or energy conduits for these extraterrestrial visitors. They might have been landing platforms, navigational beacons, or components of a technology we can't even begin to imagine. The idea is startling, but it neatly explains the lack of tools and the incredible precision of the work. The theory of ancient magic is also a powerful undercurrent in local folklore. It's believed that the original inhabitants of these mountains practiced a form of geomancy, a forgotten magic that allowed them to control the very essence of the earth. They didn't need chisels or hammers. They could speak to the stone, commanding it to take on the desired shape and move into place. The bridges in this view are not just structures, they are massive petrified spells. They are symbols of a power drawn directly from the planet itself, a power that could be used to create or destroy. This belief explains the strange energy many people feel when near the bridges. They are standing on a site of immense, dormant magic. These alternative theories, whether they involve Djinn, aliens, or magicians, all share a common thread. They acknowledge that the bridges are the product of a power beyond our own. While easy to dismiss as simple folklore, we must remember that legends often contain a kernel of truth, a distorted memory of a real event. Perhaps the stories of Djinn are a folk memory of a people with a technology so advanced it appeared magical. Maybe the star folk were not extraterrestrials, but a human civilization with a forgotten understanding of physics. These dramatic explanations persist because, in the face of such a profound mystery, they feel almost as plausible as any scientific hypothesis. The mystery of the bridges is not confined to the past. It is a living, breathing part of the present, fueled by chilling eyewitness stories from the people who live in their shadows. For generations, locals have spoken of strange phenomena that occur around the bridges after dark. Many have reported seeing inexplicable lights hovering above the stone arches, glowing orbs that pulse with a soft, silent energy before vanishing into the night sky. These are not headlights or campfires. They move with an intelligent purpose, sometimes tracing the outline of the bridge or descending into the chasm below. Those who have seen them speak of an overwhelming sense of dread, a feeling that they have witnessed something not meant for human eyes. The sounds are just as unsettling as the lights. Shepherds and hunters who have spent the night near the bridges tell of a low, resonant humming that seems to emanate from the stones themselves, growing louder as midnight approaches. Others describe hearing something that sounds like faint melodic chanting, a chorus of voices with no discernible source. Perhaps most terrifying are the reports of a deep, grinding sound, as if the massive stones are shifting, settling, or perhaps even rearranging themselves in the dark. These auditory experiences are often accompanied by a sudden drop in temperature and the feeling of a static charge in the air, making the hair on your arms stand on end. Then there are the stories of disappearances. Local lore is filled with cautionary tales of people who ventured too close to the bridges at night and were never seen again. One story tells of two brothers who made a bet to cross one of the most remote bridges after sundown. Only one returned. His hair turned white, unable to speak of what he saw. Another tale speaks of a traveler who sought shelter from a storm under one of the arches, only to vanish completely, leaving behind only his walking stick. While these could be exaggerated tales meant to scare children, they are told with a conviction that is hard to ignore. The bridges are seen as places of great power, but also great danger. These superstitions deeply affect the daily lives of the local communities. Most people refuse to cross the bridges after dusk, choosing to take long, arduous detours instead. They are considered forbidden places, thresholds that should not be crossed lightly. Parents warn their children away from them, and elders perform rituals to appease whatever spirits are thought to inhabit the ancient stones. To the people who live here, these are not just architectural marvels to be admired, they are active and potentially malevolent entities. The eyewitness accounts and deep-seated fears transform the bridges from a historical puzzle into an immediate and ongoing paranormal enigma. After examining the impossible engineering, the historical void, and the chilling local legends, we are left with a profound question. What are these bridges really? Are they simply the last surviving monuments of a lost, genius civilization? A testament to human ingenuity that we can no longer comprehend? This is the simplest explanation, and yet it feels wholly inadequate. It fails to account for the complete lack of any other trace of these builders, the strange lights and sounds, and the palpable sense of energy that surrounds these sites. The evidence, or lack thereof, pushes us to consider more fantastic possibilities, ideas that stretch the boundaries of what we believe is real. Could these bridges be more than just bridges? The intricate interlocking designs and the specific remote locations have led some to theorize that they are not connectors, but containers. Perhaps they are not designed to cross chasms, but to seal them. In this terrifying scenario, the bridges act as prisons, with the immense force of gravity locking something away deep within the earth. What could they be holding back? An ancient malevolent entity, a force of nature so powerful it had to be caged in stone. This theory would explain the disappearances and the palpable sense of dread. The bridges are not gateways for us, but barriers against something else. Alternatively, what if they are portals? The strange lights, the humming sounds, the geometric precision. All of these elements are consistent with the idea of a gateway to another place. Perhaps the bridges are stable, man-made wormholes, and the builders were not from our past, but from another dimension or another world entirely. This would explain their sudden appearance and disappearance. They came, built their doorways, and left. The lights and sounds could be the residual energy of the portal, or perhaps the signs of it still being intermittently active. Crossing the bridge at the wrong time might not lead you to the other side of the gorge, but to somewhere else entirely. So we are left standing on the edge of a great abyss of knowledge, staring at these impossible structures. They are a silent rebuke to our modern arrogance, a reminder that we do not know everything about our own world or its history. They could be engineering marvels, supernatural prisons, or extraterrestrial portals. Each theory is as compelling and as unprovable as the last. The gravity-locked bridges of Pakistan remain one of the planet's greatest and most haunting enigmas. And as the wind howls through their perfect stone arches, we are left to wonder, what secrets do these ancient sentinels still guard? And what happens if those secrets are finally unleashed?